for me, I think the important thing about the videos that we do isn't so much the technique, although I'd love to share the techniques, but to me, the technique that's learned is to be free, to work with what's at hand, and to be free to invent as you go, and I think that individualizes it. It doesn't make it what does Victoria or Richard or Bob or anybody do, but more just the pure liberation there is to, and it's not just about fixing things or anything about things, it's thinking, to think in open new ways and apply it to whatever is before us, so that we never feel timid by tradition or by what's acceptable, and that's the learning that goes on. Okay, my channel mammals. Hi. I was thinking this we glued last time, and it's cut. You can see it's needed to be glued here, and the two parts went over each other a little bit, the back and the front, so it has a little bit of support. But by the way, Richard and I made these. We made these little forks for like dainty little things, but out of shell. But I felt like I wanted to reinforce it so that it could really be used, and I was looking for things like this is something that you would use. It's some kind of I don't even know what this is.
It might have been for a wristwatch to spring the band on.
Something like that, yeah. So you could whip this. Let me show what whipping is. Going through here. See, this is whipping. What we call whipping on a ship. I don't know. What do you call it when you're fishing?
Guide winding. When
Guide
we tie the
winding.
guides onto fishing
Can you see
rods.
that one? Here, see this in the light? This is a waxed linen thread. And I'm going to teach you all how to do whipping because it's very useful. See, it keeps the frayed end from fraying. It's very hard and tight. And it's a technique of rope work that is very useful. And then here's some more whipping. Here, see this? I did this a long time ago, but it still holds tight there, you see? And then here's another. This is a different line. This one's not as successful of a line because it has synthetic in it. So it's not as, it's still hard, but I don't think it's as durable. Well, synthetic is helpful, but not so much for whipping. The waxing helps. The wax in the line. Okay, so I will whip this form with something. But so Bob, I just brought these things in to show Bob. Oh, first of all, this is just something I found in our stuff. Does anybody know what this is? Can anybody guess what this is? Can you guess what it is, Matthew? Okay, I'll show you what it is, and you'll probably figure it out.
It's a portable clothes hanger.
Everybody needs one of these when you're traveling. You never know when you might want to whip out a clothes hanger and hang your jacket up in the back of the car or in the train, and then it's time that the whistle blows and you have to arrive, and you just put this back in your briefcase for the next time you need a hanger.
That's really something.
That's fun. And then the other thing, so I was finding this, and we were trying to figure out what this is. It looks like, okay, this is clear that it's trying to look like a sword, right, at the top. So we went and got a tie. Okay, so Bob, what do you think? How do we? There's something about how we put this in here, but without hurting the tie. I don't know. It seems like
Yeah,
we
what I
rip the tie.
believe is it's supposed to, there's a clasp back here,
Yeah, for
that
the
would grab
shirt
your-
to go on the shirt.
that would go on the shirt, and it's just, the idea is it's supposed to look like,
Like
the
that's going
sword,
through.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's going through. It's slipping through nicely.
and then you would
And then
raise,
you just use the other, maybe. Yeah, you got quite a ways to take it out here, out this way. See, there's still more cavity.
okay, so here we have it.
I can't imagine.
So it looks like it's supposed to,
like
like
it's
the
weaving.
sword went through the tie,
Yeah,
and then the
you
back
use
would
the
hold it
sword
onto the
as
thread.
and then this goes on your shirt, so that the tie doesn't swing around too much. I can't get it to, it doesn't have any help to get it on, right? Well,
It
it's going
should,
on.
it
It's
might be just stiff from just,
Oh, it was why I was poking it in. I was starting to stab my blouse. Another place. There. It was because I had the sword going into my blouse. There. So imagine, if you had your whole tie on properly.
and it's supposed to give the look that the sword went right through the tie.
Yeah. I think that's fun. I think that's really fun. Well, this is the kind of thing, if you look through your old jewelry boxes or stuff that people are always passing down and they don't know what to do with them themselves. This is taking me much more time than I thought with this little tiny thin thread.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I'm doing it with thread. I've never spent so much time on a whipping project. But I can actually show the channel mammals a little bit here, because it's easy if you come around here. My channel mammals, I'll show you how it's coming. Okay, so what I did, let me just try to show this to you here. I made a loop. Oops. I can't lose that loop. That's urgent importance, very important. Ooh, I'm already getting worried about it. Let's see, what can I use? It can't get buried. It's the most urgent thing for making it a finished idea. Let's see, there's a little knife here. I don't want to break the loop though. I can't cut it. Mustn't cut it. This is a very sharp knife. No, I don't want anything sharp. I've got the back side of the knife. See, I pulled this a little bit, but I don't want it to get too tight here. You see, I've got to re-pull it back. Oh, it doesn't want to come back. Oh, it's coming back from this side. Good. I know which side now. Okay, see this little tail here? See how I'm moving it back? You see? Because I want to leave this loop up here, high up, so that I can wrap almost, past these prongs. And so I'm just slowly, it's a slow process, whipping all around the shank of this fork. Isn't it going to be nice though? It has different variations because either my hands are dirty or this looks so nice and clean. I think the wax, the combination of the wax and my hands, but I don't mind it. I think it's great. And when it's all done, it'll be very functional. Think how strong that'll be.
Yeah. That's exactly how guides were tied on fishing poles.
Uh-huh.
I used to do.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. And you would pull the loop back through.
Right.
That would pull it and tuck
And
it right through.
That ends it. It's a beautiful finish. it's something everybody should know how to do, because you use it for so many things. You can use it for so many things. So I have actually done a whipping video a long time ago when I first started, but Frederick never wanted to edit it because he said it's just too hard to see, because I was doing it by myself and my hands are covering over everything the whole time, you know.
Yeah.
It was very difficult. But there are whipping videos out there of people who really know how to make how-to videos, you know. For me, I think the important thing about the videos that we do isn't so much the technique, although I'd love to share the techniques, but to me, the technique that's learned is to be free, to work with what's at hand, and to be free to invent as you go, and I think that individualizes it. It doesn't make it what does Victoria or Richard or Bob or anybody do, but more just the pure liberation there is to, and it's not just about fixing things or anything about things, it's thinking, to think in open new ways and apply it to whatever is before us, so that we never feel timid by tradition or by what's acceptable, and that's the learning that goes on in these videos more than the technique, because then I can just say go online, you'll see somebody who teaches how to do whipping, and everything's all clean surface and just a simple thing, and all the things are big enough that you can see the moves, and it's wonderful. I really appreciate that. So I just want everybody to know that I'm not really expecting to be the great teacher, but just to liberate us all. And you know, even by doing this, I might not have had enough time to do all this, but I made time. Oh, I would never not get it done, because it's so important to me to keep things in good shape. But it's been kind of fun, because we're together, we're telling stories, and it kind of gives time in a very busy world, in a busy life, to do things you might not have put that much time in on. So I feel very grateful for this slow day that we're having here, trying to save things. And then, you know, with this, all kinds of stories are remembered through sitting here doing this, just listening to the stories that are being told by our boat boy and our king of Staten Island here. And once in a while I might tell a story. So it's really great. See, so that loop is still up there. And because I do want to go, I want to whip all the way up past, see the loop, can you see it? It's very difficult. I think you can, here, I'll lift it up. Well, that doesn't help much, does it? There, that's great. You can see the loop right there. And I'll show you in a few minutes, I'll be up there. And exactly how it finishes off. Here. You could stop. So I'm trying to keep the loop together there so it doesn't get too smashed off to the side. I have to keep waxing to keep it stiff here. Okay. This bar that we put in here, it's so long that it covers up all of the mother of pearl.
Oh.
I'd forgotten about that. And it makes, I thought the whipping section would be about an inch, you know.
Yeah,
Dropping both.
that's going to go all the way up.
Yeah, but
yeah.
guess what? This piece will never break again.
That's strong now. It's steel
Yeah.
reinforced.
Yeah. Okay. So, you want, I cut that off. I need to wax it a bit here. Okay. And then you stick it through the hole of the loop. See the little loop? And now it's through the loop, and then you pull the bottom of the loop. And you just pull that on down through, and then stop. In fact, you don't want it to go all the way through, or you've ruined the whole thing. You just want to make sure everything is. You don't want it to go all the way. I think it's okay. And then just cut it. Both ends.
That's it. Wow.
It's a whole new animal than the other little forks. But isn't it fun? It has its own little beauty.
Now, are you going to varnish that, or
I probably will. I'll probably
hold it all together?
Yeah, so the dirt, it doesn't get any dirtier. I mean, it could get dirtier. It might be better dirtier. But I think varnishing it would be a good idea. It will then, no matter what. Heather made when she was just a little tiny girl. This is the face and the hair and the ribbon and it's an angel. I remember her saying, see the wings, and one arm is, probably going back like that, and the other arm's going forward like that. So this arm looks, farther away, and one foot showing. Probably the other foot is, I have a feeling the other foot broke off, actually. Yes, the other foot broke, and we didn't ever find it. I wish we could find it. But it's made of ceramic. It's a very high temperature, excuse me, porcelain that had colors kneaded into it. But I just thought, isn't this amazing? And I'll never forget when Heather was working in my studio when I was in graduate school, working on a master's before a PhD, after fine arts degree. And I asked her if she wanted to go have some lunch and go for a little walk and a picnic. And she was working and all on this and some other little things. And she said, no, Mommy, I'm working. Little children, they work. They don't play, they work. They're always working on things. Just like Roscoe, the dog.
Yeah.
He's not playing. He's working.
Yeah.
He's practicing for catching,
the house,
he's practicing how to catch a rat or a bee, or I think it's amazing how we think it's play, but they really are serious. They're always working and growing and learning. So it's one of our things to glue.